Hello.
Go ahead and hold that power button on until you see the green light.
Hello.
Perfect.
Nice.
Okay. We're tight, but I think we're gonna make it.
Cool. Brad's way over there. Brad's good in.
You don't want pictures of me. I'm ugly. Besides, I'm going to try to run the camera and see if I can catch people. So I'm going to be a disembodied voice in this show anyway. So
Oh, please. Just the director. Yeah.
Put him in costume. Get him in costume.
only in an emergency.
Yeah, I'm gonna accidentally fall and he's gonna go on his record.
Oh, just shoot me now.
Don't you want to do like an Alfred Hitchcock, like walk, just walk across or something?
You know, if I weren't videoing it, I probably would. But I'm going to try to, capture this one and post it on YouTube. So
Whichever one of you falls out that he has to get in your costume, please be his size.
that's right.
That's would be me.
And preferably be an old person with a small number of lungs. If somebody has to fall out.
I know.
It's gonna be
You don't have a small number of lungs.
It's gonna be Duchess or
Well,
something.
you'll make me do
Well,
it.
I've got enough practice doing the Duchess.
I thought you've been practicing my lines.
No, I have. If I have to go on as you or you, I'm going on with the damn script.
Alright,
We
somebody
may as well.
hold that door. Close ourselves in here.
The sound.
Okay, so let's go one at a time, make sure everybody's mic is working and that we've got good levels on everybody. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Alright. Talk a little for me.
I'm Johnny Bryant, and I'm here to interview about Richard III today.
Keep
I've
going.
been told that, I'm glad to be here because I've been told I have a face that's perfect for radio, so it's nice to be here today. And doing this sound level check for you, and hoping the interview goes well, and looking forward to the show.
Should be good. Alright. Who wants to go next?
Sounds our next. Is it sound check?
Yep.
Now is the winter of our discontent, made glorious summer by this sun of York, and all the clouds that loud upon our house now deep in the bosom of the ocean buried.
Did you just make that up?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's really talented.
Pretty good. Alright. Who's next?
Whereat with blade, with bloody blameful blade, he bravely broached his boiling bloody breast.
And you're not going on stage?
Not for this one.
What the heck? Alright. Next up.
I'll go. Hello, I'm checking the radio, the levels. I'm King Edward, but only for a very short period of time.
We kill him quick.
Fantastic. Alright. I believe we have one headset left.
That would be me.
Fantastic.
I'm the costumer. I have had other people help me make costumes. Thank God I never could have done it by myself. There's just, 97 people in the cast, but they're all beautiful. Oh gosh, they are so beautiful.
Fantastic. Alright, and then our handheld microphones.
I'll not meddle with it. It is a dangerous thing. It makes a man a coward. A man cannot steal, but it accuseth him. He cannot swear, but it quells him.
Awesome. And then for handheld mics, we're going to have to keep those pretty close to our face.
You can't gesture, Jeffrey.
There we go. That's what the other hand is for. Alright, do that again for me.
I'll not meddle with it. It is a dangerous thing. It makes a man a coward. He cannot steal, but it detects him. He cannot swear, but it quells him. He
Fantastic.
cannot lie.
Perfect. Alright, and the last one.
Ma pa ba. Tag na la. Kai gaga. Ni pi bi. Tig ni li. Kai gi gi. Mo po bo. Tog no lo. Kai go go.
Love it. Perfect. Alright, guys.
Our resident alien.
That was fantastic. I'm like wildly impressed right now. Well, guys, thank you very much for coming and doing this. I appreciate it. We weren't expecting this many people, but we are going to roll with it because it's kind of exciting to see this many people.
That's what I said when he told me how many were in the cast that I had a costume.
Yeah. All right. So, just before we get going, what are the must-hits, like things you guys want to make sure that above all else we cover?
We want to hit the dates, we want to hit the costumes, we want to hit the beautiful aspect of it, the fact that it's been cut somewhat, so it's not going to run for 4 hours.
Very nice.
But we still have more in it than any other production of Richard III ever done.
Okay.
Well,
And,
maybe not ever done. But
and how much is the time?
it's going to run. It's going to run a little less than 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Which, for considering that it's the second longest play that Shakespeare ever wrote, that's not doing too bad.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay. All right, guys. I'm ready to light this candle if y'all are.
Let's light that wick.
Go.
We're ready.
Perfect. We're live in the lobby, so they can hear us in the lobby now. Guys, feel free to mess with our levels if we're too loud or too quiet. Can y'all hear us out there, Val? Hopefully. Oh, good. Awesome. All right, so we're set there and set on the radio. We're about to go audio. This is going out on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Well, hey everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to DentonRadio.com. We have got a very full studio today with quite a large interview, which we're super, super excited about. Today we are interviewing the cast of the upcoming Richard III, being performed over at the Campus Theater right here in beautiful downtown Denton. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Wonderful.
Hey, right.
Awesome, awesome. So, for anybody that has not seen Richard III or read about it or heard of it or anything like that, give us a quick overview of Richard III.
Well, Richard III is one of Shakespeare's history plays. It is the end of the War of the Roses. It finishes up a whole cycle of plays, starting with Henry V, going through Henry V, Henry VI, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and then Richard III. So this finally ties up the story. Finally, we find out who's going to become the King of England, and the descendants of this king are still ruling today in Great Britain.
Wow. Very, very cool. All right. So we're talking about a Shakespearean play, and you mentioned before the cameras went on, it is not 4 hours, which I know some people are going to ask about, which is very nice. And so let's just go around the room and talk a little bit about each one of your characters, who you are, introduce yourself, who you're playing, and all that good stuff.
My name's Chance Gibbs, and I play Richard III.
Awesome.
And he's the hardest. Well, first off, I'm an actor. I've been an actor my whole life. I usually do film and TV. This is the hardest role I've ever played. Not only because of the dialogue, but because of the character. I mean, he's ruthless, and I think he invented petty. It just, if it doesn't go his way, it's over. But it's fun to play that. Villains are fun, and this is a good villain because it's also, it's not a character that's like a character actor that's a villain. It's not going against the main character. It is the main character, and he's mean. And villains are more fun to play than, you know.
He's
nice
both
roles.
the protagonist and the antagonist in the same
Right,
play.
yeah.
Well, I've heard that from a lot of different actors that say, once you go villain, there's no going back.
This is my favorite role of all time.
Very, very cool. All right, who wants to go next?
Buckingham?
Oh, sure.
Speak up, Buckingham.
Well,
We can't stop him from talking.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm Johnny Bryan, and I'm playing the Duke of Buckingham, and I have been an actor since I was a small child. Been on theater, on stages in theaters all over, and love to act. I do some voice acting as well, and when I'm lucky, do a little film acting here and there that nobody will probably ever see because it's mostly instructional videos and whatnot. But this is a very challenging piece. Like I said, I've done Shakespeare before, and I'm very impressed with this show. Very impressed with the cutting of it, and like we keep saying, it's not 4 hours long. And I enjoy the way this play has been cut, because it seems like it makes it so much more accessible to just about everybody. Anyone who's never even seen a Shakespearean play can walk into this theater and really be able to get into this and enjoy it. Because the language is set up in a way where, of course, it is a Shakespearean language set up, but it's understandable as well. You can follow this play and understand what these people are saying. And it's a really interesting story. And the thing I find so interesting about it is that this all really happened. These were real people. The Duke of Buckingham that I played, Henry Stafford, he was the second Duke of Buckingham. These were real people in real times, and even though this was in the 1480s, they considered themselves a modern society. So they didn't think of themselves as backwards or behind us the way we might think of them. Like I said, they thought of themselves as modern people and conducted themselves in that way. And it is in that history that I think the enjoyability, I don't know if that's a word, but comes through. Like I said, these are real people, and that's the most interesting aspect I find in it. Also, I guess, working with the other actors here in the room, I always enjoy working with everybody. It's such a community experience. I cannot stress how much fun it is to go to rehearsals and everybody sitting around laughing and talking and joking in between scenes, but also being respectful of one another's time on stage as well.
Sure.
It's just an all-around great thing to be involved with, and I really would like to see as many people come out and see this when it's possible.
Yeah.
They'll enjoy it.
Very, very cool. Who wants to go next?
Go over there, Bennett. You go.
Hi, I'm Bennett Frohawk. I play the Earl of Richmond, who ultimately becomes Henry VII. So I guess in the end, I win.
To be continued.
I don't know if I have anything quite so insightful to say as Johnny did, but yeah, that's my character. This is my first time. I moved to Denton in August, and pretty much the first thing I did was audition for this show. So I'm super happy to be a part of it and to be making my Denton debut here with this cast. It's been such a fun time to work with everyone here.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
My name's Jeff Drager. I play the murderer. I murder the murderer with a conscience that attempts to murder the Duke of Clarence.
Awesome.
And I've been doing theater for 20 plus years. Little film, little TV work, a lot of stage. And I'm happy to be returning to Denton because I haven't done anything here in probably, 15 years?
Gosh, it's been about 15 years.
Yeah, so
Was it Damn Yankees was the last thing you did?
No, actually, it was Sweeney Todd. Was the very last show I did. Yes, I was part of the cast of Sweeney Todd. It was a wonderful production. And again, we're going to have a wonderful production here. This is coming together really well. I think the audience is going to really enjoy it. And just come on out and see us.
Very, very cool. Awesome.
I'm Scott Hazard. I'm playing Edward IV, who is the reigning king of England when this play starts. Edward has had a lifetime or a recent lifetime anyway, of doing some very bad things, and he is paying for it. He is ill. What you see, the part of Edward that you see in this show is him doing his best to clean up some of the mess that he's had a hand in creating over the past years in human relationships and such, and trying to get people to work together and instead of fight all the time. We're having a great time. We move into the campus theater next week and start our rehearsals there next week. I've been doing this for about 20 years, 25 years, just like most of these other folks here have. And I'll say this, a play like this, for somebody who's looking to get into the theater, don't look at something like this and think that it's daunting or something, because a play like this, especially a play like this, you can have a small part, not have a crazy rehearsal schedule, and yet when you get into the campus theater, which is what we're doing next week, then we'll start actually running the show. This play's been rehearsed in segments, and Brad's done a great job accommodating everybody and getting the best out of everybody's schedule. But next week we really start running it, and that's when this really starts getting fun. This will really come together, and we'll have a great time,
Awesome.
Especially starting next week.
Super cool.
Unless you play Richard, then you are there every night.
Right.
Or booking.
Or any of these guys are always there. Yes.
Yeah. Do y'all charge them rent for this?
No,
We should charge them.
no, we don't charge them rent. We don't pay them either. You know, so,
We want a fair compromise.
there you go.
All right. Who's next?
I'll be next. I am Elsie Barrow. I am a costumer, have been costuming for Denton Community Theatre since 2010. I think this is my most challenging play that I have ever costumed. I did do The King and I, which I lovingly refer to as The King and Everybody. And it was pretty bad. I think 9.9% of the children in Denton County over the age of 6 were there, and that was fun. But this one, I want to thank all my minions. I have magnificent minions, 15 different people, and if you come to the show, they're all named in the show bill. You don't know who they are, that have helped me build costumes and driven me down to Golden Dior to buy fabric, and I mean, they're just wonderful. I could not do this without them, and I can't say enough how much I appreciate their help. Plus, anybody out there wants to costume, look up Denton Community Theatre and call us. We'll be glad to have you.
Put you to work.
It took 16 people to do the costumes for this show. And this is one of the persons that's going to do the dressing. This is Emily, and she is going to put armor on these guys. Now, I want to say Brad Speck has the armor. He does the armor. It won't fit under the sewing machine needle, and I can't do the armor.
I have the armor concession. I should have my name down as costumer too.
That would be great, yes.
Well, you did have a hand in it.
That's true.
You did procure the armor.
I'm going to be working on it this afternoon.
And this is Emily. She's one of the people that's going to, we need dressers because these guys can't get in and out of this armor alone. So you tell them about that, darling.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Emily Chambers. I'm playing Elizabeth York. I just kind of swindled my way into that, actually. I started out, I just came in one day because I wanted to see that one fight, Richmond, not you, that one.
She knows you should have won.
Yeah, either way. And I just kind of went up to her and I said, hey, if you ever need help costuming, I know how to sew and I know how to do all this. And she just kind of pulled me over and said, do this. I'm like, okay.
I pounced on her.
It's a very dangerous thing. If you come in and say, I can do this. Oh,
Yeah.
play with us.
That's
Yeah.
ours from now on.
Yeah, so I immediately became a part of the crew, and then like a couple of rehearsals later, he pulls me aside and says, "You want to be Elizabeth of New York?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So this is like my first like major production I've ever done. I haven't done a lot of plays or anything like that before in my life, except for high school, and that was very small as well. And just I moved down here in August as well as Bennett, and because college. Yeah, it's been a blast ever since.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Well, so speaking of casting and all the people that make all of this happen, y'all were saying there's 90... How many?
No, not quite that many.
About 30 cast.
We have 33 in the cast, and the staff now is about 34, 35.
Wow.
So well over 60 people in the cast and crew. These are people that are directly involved with it, not just people who are working at the theater, you know, our managing director and box office and all that. No, this is the people that are actually working on this show.
Fantastic.
So it's quite a crowd.
60. Good gracious.
Oh yeah.
Well, I know when I said to Mike, hey, we're gonna bring in a couple of people from the play and we'll talk about it. I'm glad he whittled it down to this size.
It would have been really crowded in here if we gotten all 65.
But we probably would have set a world record.
Oh yeah. Y'all currently hold the record right now. For
Yay!
I'm happy about
There we
that.
go.
So if somebody's new to Shakespeare, you know, we talked about this as a continuation of several other pieces and things like that. So if somebody's new, trying to get somebody interested in Shakespeare or anything like that, can somebody totally cold, has no context, walk into this show and be able to grab a bunch out of it.
Yes. And you know, one of the ways that we're going to do this at the very beginning of the show, as part of the curtain speech, I'm going to introduce all of the cast as their character, and give you some idea of what their relationship is. So you get a little, you know, pre-show of what's going on. And I think that ultimately people will understand exactly what it is we're doing.
Very cool.
You know, I've modified this play. Shakespeare is 400 years old. I channel him frequently. And it's perfectly all right for us to do whatever we want to do. So for some words, there are some words that are in Shakespeare that are just don't have any meaning to a modern audience. And so we changed that. But we're trying to keep the same meter. We're trying to keep the same poetic idea, and keep as much of Shakespeare as it was written as we can, and still encourage and make it easy for the audience to understand what it is we're saying and what is happening.
Fantastic. Well, one of the things I keep hearing over and over and over and over about this show is costuming. So I'm going to talk with you a little bit more and see if you can give us a rundown just of some of the things we should expect to see when we go see this show.
My costume. You know how much I love it.
You had 3 costumes. He's the only one that has 3 costumes, but he's the star. What am I going to say?
Right.
He has his first costume where he looks very jaunty and very young man about town. A GQ man, if they had GQ back in the day.
Right.
And then his second costume is a little more frightening, I think. It has these long sleeves with knots on the ends, and he walks around looking very mean, and that's because he is. And then you see him in the armor, and it's like, oh my gosh. And then you see him dead.
And we have real, authentic 15th century all steel armor, head to toe.
Right.
Really?
Absolutely.
Real armor.
And they're actually going to be fighting with hand-and-a-half swords. They're like 4 feet long, and whacking away at each other in real steel armor, just like they did in the day.
Where did we even find steel armor?
I ordered it from India.
Huh. Well,
I got one of our backers, and she and I put together the money. This is outside of our enormous costume budget anyway. And I have for sale now, as soon as this show's over, 2 full suits of authentic steel armor, which I will give you a bargain on, because I can't possibly fit them into my house.
I've been there. No, he can't fit there.
So, oh yes.
Now, Johnny, I want to tell you this little story. Nelda Everett, who is an excellent, magnificent seamstress, I gave her some green fabric, and I said, create a costume. She said, who's it for? And I said, Johnny Bryant. She says, oh boy. We all love Johnny. He's got about as much ham as Hormel, but we love him. He's a great actor.
You don't hear me disagree.
No, and you shouldn't, because that's the great thing about you. But I took it down to the Black Box Theater where we rehearse, and he tried it on last night. Now, Nelda asked me if I'd get a picture of him, and I thought about it, but oh my goodness, he put that thing on and he was like a kid at Christmas. He loved it, he enjoyed it, he flounced around in it, he has a little chain that he wanted me to paint. We were having so much fun, and then it dawned on me, I didn't get his picture, and so I told Nelda, well honey, he wouldn't stand still long enough to get a photograph. Now the gowns, there's 4 ladies and they all have beautiful gowns. There's one in lavender, there's one in red. Well, it's not really red, it's kind of a wine color. One in gold, that's Anne, the young lovely. And then the older Duchess, hers is in blue.
Wow.
So.
And the hats.
Oh my goodness, yes. Pete Kelly is the lady who made the hats for me, and they're authentic looking. They're not some that we saved from back then, but because this was 1455.
Sure.
But they are great. They're beautiful, and she has done a fantastic job making those hats. She makes everything from dead fish to who knows what, you know.
Fake legs.
Fake legs, yeah. She's a great prop mistress and maker. I think she used to work it professionally. That's the thing about Denton Community Theatre. A lot of the people there were professionals at one time.
Right.
And some of them are teachers that teach theater in the high schools and middle schools around this area. And We have a lot of people. If you judge a play from 1 to 10, 1 being your child's kindergarten performance, 10 being Broadway, I'd say most of ours are about an 8 or a 9. And they would be a 10, but we don't have the budget that Broadway has.
Love it. Well, I was talking to somebody just yesterday who knows a lot of you guys and was, part of this whole process, and she said, "Oh, you just wait for it. They've got the greatest costumes ever, and the armor and all this stuff, and it's so authentic." I said, "Yeah, it's really impressive when you can make something plastic look metal." And she goes, "Oh, you don't even know." So I'm super excited. That's gonna be super.
We've been fighting in the armor for a month now.
Yeah,
And
probably.
It's been fitting it and then figuring out where we can move, and then she's been making us padding because we've got wounds.
Yeah,
From
big
where it
bruises
pinches.
on your armpits where it pinches you.
It's not the sword that is killing us. It's metal, but it's all fitted now, and Brad has.
Well, see, that's why I was so excited
Made it.
about my costume. Mine's all comfortable and everything. Bruises all over me. So.
I'm so worried I'm gonna open up the paper and see tragic sword accident.
Believe me, I worry about that too.
Well, that's something to be concerned about. It's seriously something to be concerned about. But at the same time, they've got a great choreographer working.
Jordan Love.
And safety is definitely an issue. I guarantee you, he is definitely taking y'all's safety into consideration.
Yeah, number one.
Because
we're fighting with real swords.
Yeah, they're real. To make it look
Amazing.
real and make sure nobody gets hurt beyond a pinch of the armor.
Yeah.
Or something.
We don't want anybody to lose a finger
No.
Or a nose,
or a nose.
Well, I mean, it's for the show.
unless it's on stage.
Suffer for your art.
We will suffer for our art, but not quite that much.
Well, very, very, very cool, guys. So if you guys got the chance to do a 10-second pitch, I want to hear from everybody. A 10-second pitch on why somebody should come see this show. If somebody's never gone to campus theater before, we'll start with you.
Even if you don't like Shakespeare, it's a feast for the eyes. The set, the costumes, it's beautiful.
Very cool. Who wants to go next?
I think people hear the term community theater and just don't really realize what goes into a production like this or any of the productions that Denton Community Theatre does. And that goes for all community theaters around the nation. These people work very, very hard at what they do. And somebody said a while ago about people we have in our theater that used to do it professionally. We have people that have worked for us that went off into the world, if you will, and are doing it professionally now. So this is a springboard for actors and directors and technical people. And technical people too. We know technical people that have gone on to do this professionally on Broadway. So it's just a great place to acquaint yourself with theater, to acquaint your children with theater. And that just goes so far. That just carries on through a lifetime.
Very, very cool.
You see what we mean about Johnny? How many words did you ask for?
He's done it in like 10-ish seconds.
Yeah, I was about 10-ish.
10-ish.
10, 15, 20, 35.
They're all multiples of 10. What's that last one?
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll say that the reason you should come see this show, because when you're sitting in the audience watching us on stage, you can rest assured that we're up there having a great time. And that you will absorb some of that energy and that you'll leave feeling great. You'll leave feeling like you've seen something that matters to this world culturally. You'll leave like you've seen a bunch of people having a really good time bringing it to you.
Very, very good. Very well said.
That's part of my whole philosophy of theater is you must be having a good time. You must be enjoying yourself. If you're not enjoying yourself, then the audience won't enjoy themselves. So we're all up there doing our best to have as much fun as we possibly can while keeping within this structure that's a 400-year-old structure. That there's a reason that it's lasted 400 years. It's some of the best stuff ever written.
Very, very nice. Very well said. Who'd like to go next?
Good. You want to see Game of Thrones live? I mean, Shakespeare was the Game of Thrones before there was Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I mean, we've got it all. We've got big guys in suits of armor clashing against each other, and drama, intrigue, people backstabbing each other. I mean, it's all there. It's really is an exciting story.
Yeah.
but no nudity.
Or dragons.
No
Oh,
nudity.
no, but we've got,
Sorry, no nudity or
No
dragons.
nudity, no obscenity. It's perfectly good for any age. You know, now
Little
admittedly,
segue in there. I like that.
admittedly, we do have a body count bigger than almost any show ever. But you know, violence. That's
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, well.
Fun for the whole family.
There we go.
well, who doesn't enjoy a good beheading from time to time?
It's just it's not a good weekend if somebody didn't lose their head.
If somebody doesn't lose their head, yeah, that's correct. All I'll say is it's Shakespeare. It's fun, it's classic, and if you come out, you're going to have a good time, and you will leave very happy. Come see us. We're going to enjoy the show. We hope that you will too.
Very
And
nice.
everybody, even though he's a bloody tyrant who kills a lot of people, everybody can relate to Richard in some way.
You know,
Because we've all had to fight at some point in our life to move up, whether it be the corporate ladder or in an organization or in your personal life. And Richard is willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top.
Well, and
Richard
along
loves
those-
Richard.
along
That is
those
I am
lines,
I.
you know, this story, of course, written by Shakespeare in what, 1590?
Yeah, about that.
Okay, you also take into consideration that this story was written by the winners of this war.
Right.
And the winners write history.
Right.
And that's what you've got here, is the winner's version of this history. And you have people nowadays that will argue this and say that it is not accurate and Richard wasn't as evil as he was made out to be in history. Yet, if you look at the evidence, it tends to point to him not being too nice a guy.
Right.
And my character considered himself a kingmaker. And he was largely responsible for getting Richard seated on the throne, for which he didn't really think was a good idea later. So, like I said, this was written by the winners. You have Plantagenets to this day that will tell you that his line, his family line, should still be on the throne. But they're not. They lost.
Interesting. Interesting. Would you consider him to be Tyrion? Is that fit?
I don't know. I don't know if there's an exact correlation to each character, but I don't know. Maybe Richard is a bit like Tyrion. Maybe a little meaner, even.
But he gets his comeuppance in the end.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
the only one that gets killed on stage.
That's true.
I like it.
Again, second time in a row here at DCT.
The rest of them we
Love
take
to-
off. The rest
They
of them
kill
we
you off.
take off stage to cut their head off.
Right. We bring the head back.
But we
so-
didn't bring them head
Yeah.
back.
They
Yeah,
cut
one
your
that
head
goes
off on
back.
stage?
They,
No.
almost.
Wow. Holy smokes.
Well, they take me off.
Yeah.
They're bringing me out and then they take me off.
So be sure you get there opening night, folks, because
Yeah,
well,
there's
you know,
one
Yeah.
showing. It's going to be a big one.
We can only do it once.
The last showing is not going to be as good as the first one. You got to see it.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
We spoke for about 15 Richards. That's fine.
Yeah,
Do
really.
whatever.
Everybody here plays Richard.
Even me.
No, it's not my turn, please. No. For your turn?
Oh. We work hard, we play hard just to give entertainment to y'all. I mean, I've never really been in a play before, but this is like the best thing I've ever seen. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and I think y'all will really enjoy it.
It's just so satisfying in oneself to accomplish such a thing with so many other people. You know, it's not something that you accomplish all by yourself. It's something you're a small part of, that it's a bigger thing than you are.
Yeah.
I just love that aspect of it.
Yeah.
We all get together like a family after it's
Yes.
over and have a cast party and, you know, and then years later when we see one another again, it's like, ah, you know, big hug, big kiss. You do, it's very intimate.
Yeah, you get real close to people working with them in this fashion, and I must say I've made some awfully good friends over the years doing this, and once again, in Richard, making new friends again, working with people I've never worked with, it's just an awesome experience. And you had talked about moving down here, and this was your first thing. And one of the things my wife always says that I consider a very, very true thing is if you move to a new area and you want to meet a whole bunch of nice people, go and audition for the community theater.
Very true.
You're going to meet people there that you you will cherish for the rest of your life.
Instant friends.
That is
Yes.
Friends.
That won't let you leave. Or
No.
No, they won't let you leave. My friend forever.
And now you're stuck with me
Stuck
forever.
with it forever.
He was in a play, Bonnie and Clyde, and we,
accosted me outside.
on the sidewalk outside the building, and said,
The
"You
day
gotta
that-
come try it for
The
Richard."
day before auditions.
Yes.
Never met him before the day before auditions.
Yes.
I know this guy.
And
Yeah, I was at the award ceremony and they came up to me. Hey, we need men tomorrow. Here's the script for Richard. Oh, sorry, it's there, man.
Well, this one put a script in my hand and said, "Be at auditions." That's all there is to it. Be there.
Be
I
there.
walked in one day and I never walked out.
There you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
We wouldn't let you.
I think she's hooked, Brad.
no escape.
She's young, she's healthy, she's got a lot of energy, she's got a lot of smarts and talent, and why not grab on? And the rest of you out there who want to come.
Yeah.
Do it.
Well, and to take a step back from Richard, I want to talk a little bit about the campus theater and Denton Community Theater and really the level of talent you guys are able to create and the family aspect like you're talking about. I did HMS Pinafore at the campus theater when I was in 5th grade.
Oh my gosh.
And I remember the last night, because really you do bond so much with all these people. It's been so long since I've seen any of them, but I remember the last night of the show I came home and bawled
Yes.
like a baby because I'd lost this family that I'd
Yep.
created, right? I wasn't going to see them every Wednesday anymore. I mean, it really is an incredible experience that everybody should get to do at least once. It's
Oh, yeah.
really, really cool. But I wanted to, like you said before, a lot of people hear community theater, okay, a few volunteers are going to come together, they're going to put on a show, their families are going to come watch them, and and it is so not that.
Thank you.
It is this amazing, really high level. Like when they showed me y'all's paychecks, I was blown away because I thought that it was going to be I thought this was so much production behind all of this. I thought this was a really big thing, and it's people that are passionate putting something forward, and it shows so well.
Wait a minute.
And we agree, it makes it a better project.
She's looking for the paycheck.
Paycheck? You didn't tell me about paycheck.
I didn't want to give away everything. No, Denton Community Theater. We're next year is going to be our 50th anniversary, and for a community theater to last for 50 years is unheard of.
Yes.
We have been recognized by the NEA as one of the top community theaters in the United States. We are doing professional level work. You know, it's amateurs doing professional level work, and it is as much of a joy. This group is the nicest people that I've ever had a chance. I've been doing theater for 50 years. This theater is by far the best group of people I've ever worked with in my life. There is so much joy, there's so much compassion, there's so much friendship, there's so much that's happening. We do so many shows. There's so much opportunity to play. There's big support. You know, it's just a great organization.
The talent level at every stage, from lighting to performers to directors to it really is. If you've never gone and seen a show at the campus theater or to seen something that Denton Community Theater put together, it will blow you away because it really is incredible what you guys are able to do and what you're able to pull off on a very regular basis, which is amazing.
And I want to
How many
thank
shows
you
do.
so much because I've talked to people, like when I go buy fabric at the fabric store, and I'll tell them it's for the theater. What theater? People don't even know we're here.
Right, I know. They go, oh, campus theater. Oh, at UNT. No. Wrong campus.
Wrong campus. You talked about family and theater. I met my wife when I was 14 years old doing theater, and we're still together to this day. And we have a grown son who is in the show with us. So I've been doing theater with my own son since he was old enough to walk up on that stage, and he's a grown man now.
Yeah.
And my wife and I, like I said, we were 14 when we met doing theater, and we're still doing the theater together.
See, when I did HMS Pinafore, I was at rehearsal one night, and our director was so bummed we didn't have enough baritones in the production. Again, I'm in 5th grade, so my father has to bring me to every rehearsal, and he's sitting in the back of the room just tapping his foot waiting for me to get finished, right? And theater was not, he was a sports guy, right? And I was the theater kid. So he's bringing me there, but he's very supportive, and we would, on the drive home, we would sing the songs together, and he was at every single rehearsal. And so one day, the director's walking around the room, and she's looking around, and she goes, "It sounds right today. What's going on?" Well, he didn't realize it, but he was singing along in the back of the room. Well, he was a pretty big guy, and again, he's a sports guy, so he's got this baritone, deep voice, and all of a sudden she goes, "Wait a second, we've got enough baritones here." And she, and as I'm leaving, she grabs him by the arm and goes, "Will you please be in this show?" And it became this great thing that we got to do together. And they gave out awards at the end of it, because this was like his first play his whole life. He got the award. They gave out all these silly little awards for everybody. His award was, "I can sing or I can move my feet, but you got to pick one." But it was this great family experience we all got to do together, and just fell in love with it. And then we ended up doing another show with the entire family, and it was something we bonded about for our whole lives. It was fantastic.
Well, this guy and I met at an audition and have been friends for 20 years. First time we ever met, it was almost like meeting again for the very first time. It was like we've known each other all our lives, and he and I have been friends for 20 years now.
Love it. So cool.
Yeah.
So cool.
It's amazing. I mean, you'll meet people that you'll bond with, and you'll have relationships that carry on for years. I've actually just been back in the area for about a year now, and I've been in the Houston area. And I'll tell you that the theater that I did there, I'm still close friends with a lot of the people, and I still hear from them on a regular basis. And they tell me about their projects and their shows and the things that are going on with them. Because it's something that you may move on, you may move on physically, but you're still a part of a community.
Yeah.
And it really is a special community, because I got to say that actors and theater people are just really a special group of people.
Yeah.
They're sacrificing from themselves to give to the community something that they believe can really give when the community receives it, it's going to come back to them.
Yeah. Very much.
And anybody out there that wants to join us, come on.
We have open doors over there. Open auditions.
Open
and stuff all the
auditions, and we always need tech people.
Very cool.
We have a children's theater
Yes, we
that
do.
is just awesome.
Awesome.
You guys do some amazing work. Unfortunately, we have to wrap it up. But guys, make sure you check it out. Richard III dropping November 10th. That's right.
10th through the
November
19th.
10th, going through November 19th. Check it out at the Campus Theater. You can get your tickets right here at the Discover Denton Welcome Center, or you can go over to the Campus Theater. They'll get you hooked up in the box office.
Or you can do it online.
Or you can do it online. Thank you all very, very much for being here. We really
Thanks for having us.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for having us.
We are going to jump back into the music, guys. Thank you all very much for tuning in on DentonRadio.com. Make sure you check it out. Richard III.
Oh, that was fun.
Good. Thank you all for coming. Thank
That
you
was
so much for
marvelous.
having us.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
Really.
When are
Somebody
you
even
coming
walked in
back
that
to
I
be
know.
when are you coming back to act?
Yeah,
Oh,
well, you could
nice.
If you can do it at 5, you can darn sure do it now.
I would love to. I really would love to. I've told the staff here, I said one of my goals is to delegate off enough duties that I can go do a show.
Absolutely.
So that really is on the list.
Do you sing?
So
Hey.
later on in the season,
Depends
you're
on
doing
who,
a
yeah.
little show called Heathers, the
Yeah,
musical.
Heather's a musical.
Okay.
Which,
Don't forget about Johnny Cash if he sings.
oh, that's true.
Oh, I don't sing well. I'll do
Does
it.
your
but
dad
I'll do
sing?
it.
Honey, it's country and western music. You don't have
Johnny
to
Cash
sing
is a
well.
baritone.
Yeah.
I fell into a burning ring of fire. There you
Nobody
go.
plays Johnny. We just sing his songs, okay?
Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Sing Frank Sinatra, so if
There you go.
Thank you so much.
Anytime y'all would
I'm
like
not-
to come
I'm
back,
not-
please
thank
holler
you
at
for
us.
my voice.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
very
much.
much.
I hope they hear this and
Oh,
come
yeah.
see it.
I hope so too.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you very much, guys.
Very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
I dashed over here from class.
Do
I'm
you
just
need
like,
a
I'm sweating.
brochure?
We've got several here.
Okay.
But thank you very much.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you. Okay, I want some stuff.
Very nice. we're gonna pull some of these chairs out of here and set up for y'all. I would love that. That would be great. I actually